There are 5 phrases that should end a relationship the moment they leave her mouth, not after a conversation, not after you've given her time to explain, the moment you hear them, because what she just showed you isn't something that changes with the right talk or a better night. It's something that was already there, already formed, already deciding how much you matter. Most men hear these phrases and do nothing. They tell themselves it wasn't that serious. They convince themselves she was tired or stressed or didn't mean it the way it came out. She meant it. Words this specific don't happen by accident. They come from somewhere real, and if you know what you're listening for, you will never mistake them for anything other than exactly what they are. A woman showing you in plain language that she does not respect the man she is with. Stay until number 3. That one is the most dangerous because it sounds the most reasonable. 1. My ex never had a problem with this. The moment she pulls her ex into an argument, she has told you something important. Not about him, about you. She is using a previous man as a weapon to make you feel inadequate, not to motivate you, not to give you useful information, to destabilize your confidence and shift the power in the room back toward her. Here is the psychology behind it. Comparing you to an ex is a calculated move, whether she knows it or not. It tells you that her previous relationship is still a reference point, that she is measuring you against a standard that has nothing to do with who you actually are. And it tells you that when she wants to win an argument, she is willing to reach into your insecurities and pull. The dangerous thing is how subtle it sounds. My ex never made a big deal out of this. That sentence is doing 3 things simultaneously. It minimizes your concern. It implies you are less than another man. And it reminds you that you are replaceable. A woman who respects the man she is with does not bring other men into disagreements. She addresses the issue. She doesn't arm herself with your competition. If this phrase has appeared more than once, it is not a habit, it is a pattern. And patterns tell you everything about someone's character that isolated moments don't. 2. I was just joking. Why are you so serious? She said something that hurt. You responded, and suddenly the conversation shifted away from what she said and toward your reaction to it. That shift is not accidental. This phrase is one of the cleanest examples of gaslighting that exists in relationships. The joke was the attack. The "why are you so serious" is the cover. In one sentence, she has rewritten what just happened. She is no longer the person who said something damaging. You are the person who can't take a joke. The result, if you accept it, is that you begin to doubt your own reactions. You start running a second calculation every time something bothers you. Am I being too sensitive? Is this actually a problem? And while you are doing that calculation, she is living in a relationship with no accountability for what she says to you. Real jokes don't leave damage. They don't need to be walked back with, "It was just a joke," because when something is genuinely funny, both people are laughing. When only one person is laughing and the other is quietly absorbing something that stings, that is not humor. That is contempt dressed as comedy. A woman who respects you does not use your reaction to her cruelty as evidence of your weakness. She acknowledges that what she said landed badly, and she means it. 3. All my friends think you should. This one is the most dangerous phrase on this list because it arrives disguised as concern. She is not speaking for herself. She is speaking for a group, which means disagreeing with her suddenly means disagreeing with everyone, which means defending your position suddenly feels like being outnumbered, which means the path of least resistance, agreeing with her, is dressed up as social consensus rather than her personal agenda. It is one of the most effective manipulation strategies in any relationship because it is almost impossible to argue against without sounding paranoid. But here is what is actually happening. She has discussed your relationship, your behavior, your choices, your character with people who are not in your relationship. She has presented a version of events to them that she curated. And now, she is returning with a verdict from a jury you didn't know existed and never agreed to stand before. The phrase, "all my friends think," means she has already decided how she feels. She went looking for agreement, and she found it. And now she is using their voices to reinforce a position she was already holding. A woman who brings your private relationship to public opinion as a tool in an argument is not trying to help you grow. She is trying to win, and she is willing to use whatever audience she can gather to do it. 4. You should just know what's wrong. She is upset. You ask what's wrong. She says nothing, or worse, you should already know. This is not emotional depth. This is a trap, because what she has just done is make it impossible for you to solve the problem while also holding you responsible for it. You cannot address something that isn't named, but you will be punished for not addressing it. The psychology here is specific. This behavior is designed to put you in a position of constant anxiety. You are always slightly uncertain whether you have done something wrong. You are always slightly apologetic about something you cannot identify, and that low-level guilt keeps you permanently attentive to her emotional state, which is exactly where she wants you. Real communication between two people who respect each other involves saying what is wrong. It is not comfortable or easy, but it is honest. Choosing silence and withdrawal, and then resenting you for not breaking through it correctly, that is not communication. That is control. A woman who uses silence as punishment is telling you that she would rather keep you anxious than deal with conflict directly. And a relationship built on that dynamic slowly drains a man of everything. 5. Fine. Do whatever you want. Nothing is fine. If it were fine, she would say nothing. The fact that she said something, specifically that, means the opposite of fine. Do whatever you want is a sentence designed to make you feel guilty for having boundaries, preferences, or independence. It is punishing you for not doing what she wanted, while maintaining the ability to later say, she never told you not to do it. It is passive aggression at its most refined. She is expressing anger while denying that she is angry. She is controlling your behavior while claiming to give you freedom. And if you take her at her word and actually do whatever you want, you will pay for it. Through silence, through coldness, through a shift in her energy that you can feel, but she will deny is connected to anything you did. Over time, this phrase trains men to abandon their own judgment, because the cost of exercising it is always an atmosphere of quiet punishment that is never quite explained and never quite acknowledged. A woman who cannot tell you what she actually wants, who would rather suffer and make you feel that suffering than simply say, "I wish you wouldn't do that," has chosen performance over honesty. And a relationship built on performance never holds. Here is the uncomfortable reality underneath all 5 of these. Disrespect in a relationship does not usually arrive loudly. It arrives in phrases that can be explained away, in moments that feel small enough to forgive, in patterns that only become visible when you stop looking at each incident and start looking at all of them together. Most men don't leave relationships that are slowly destroying them because every individual moment feels manageable. The damage is gradual, and gradual damage is the kind that hollows a man out before he even realizes what has been taken. You are not too sensitive for noticing these things. You are not overreacting for taking them seriously. You are paying attention, and paying attention is the first thing a man has to do before he can do anything else.